I got another showdown post for you guys. Last one for tier 3 for this season. We're going to end it up with Mount Eerie's Night Palace versus Brendan Byrnes' Transfigured Earth Part 1 and 2. Night Palace is the most recent album from Mount Eerie, and that's kind of a long-standing project that's been around for quite a while. I believe it's the 13th album under this name. And this really comes off as a culmination of a lot of different facets of Mount Eerie's history. What I find so really fascinating about this one is the interesting juxtapositions again that you see on this album, because on the one hand, it presents itself as almost like a folk album. It's very, very intimate, almost like a spoken word album. Melody is sort of downplayed in lieu of a little bit more spontaneous feeling approach to the lyrics and the musical delivery of them. But at the same time, it has a very post-punk and grating side to it. It's got these explosive moments of like huge drone worship, and then will trail off into, moments of narratively embedded white noise. And it all sort of comes together under the guise of communicating with nature and being very honest with oneself about one's relationship with nature and the land. And let's look at that over comparison to this Brendan Byrnes album. Now, Brendan Byrnes is really, really interesting artist that I've developed a lot of respect for. He's an artist that plays in microtonal music, meaning that he uses a tuning system that does 28 notes in a scale rather than the usual 12. And to the average ear, that puts notes in between notes, makes things sound disorientingly out of tune. Now, he's not the only microtonal artist out there by any means. There's lots of people that do this, but most of the people that I've heard that explore this stuff really put the odd sounds of the tuning systems they use out in front. What's really respectable about Brendan Byrnes is that he instead puts the music out in front. He makes very comprehensible and relatable songs and uses microtonal tones to kind of add color to it. So it does have enough of a relationship to tonality, normal 12-note scales, to where it feels like you can follow it. But it has a different kind of emotional capacity to it when you can have a major 7 chord that really has 2 different entire sounds to it, functionally speaking, within the system. So between these 2 artists, what am I going to go with? Well, I really think this Mount Eerie album is great, and the thing that I appreciate the most about it is I think it's an album that really needs to be lived with more than listened to. It's an album that you spend a lot of time with and you grow to have a relationship with it. And I think that's really awesome. There's many albums that don't have that capacity these days. But there's so much invested in the exploration of this microtonal system that Brendan Byrnes uses on this album. It's difficult not to acknowledge that commitment to honoring the song above, any kind of unusual experimentation that he might be involved in the creating of this music. So as much as I love this Mount Eerie album, this is probably going to get a save because I think there's a lot to this album that I will continue to enjoy. I've got to give to this Brendan Byrnes album. So agree or disagree, please sound off below. Then head over to my YouTube channel where you're going to find more posts on independent artists and classic deep dive reviews.